So one of the things I wanted to show you guys is like, I opened the gate to let her out because when you go for her, she's cuckoo. But she brought a freaking cricket with her, guys. This cricket is so bold. When you know she's going to eat you eventually. So I just let her come out on her own and then she comes to me. So stay tuned. Back at it again with another YT video, and today I wanted to speak about my chameleon. I'm waiting for her to calm down currently because it takes a while for her to calm down. Veiled chameleon, so she's one of them. But there are definitely different types of breeds of chameleons out there that are less aggressive, and I believe that one of them is like the panther chameleon, which eventually we will be getting. But I actually wanted to introduce you to my chameleon, and her name is Grenleigh. And she's actually really sweet when she calms down. Okay, so like right now her colors are a little more lighter, but she's still weary. My hand is actually cramping right now, so because she's heavy and I'm really wanting her to climb up, but she doesn't seem to want to do so. I'm gonna see if I can get her to climb up. I don't want you to bite me, but my hand is cramping. And she's honestly not stressed out right now, even though it kind of seems like she is. She's not. If she was, she would be black, she'd be puffy, she'd be big, her mouth would be open, she would be hissing. But currently she's just chilling on my hand and she's looking outside. She's interested to see what's going on outside, I guess. And currently you do see that there's a stick in her hand, and that's because she's aggressive, as I stated. They do bite. I just couldn't personally tell you how it feels when they bite because she's never bit me. She has hissed at me before, and that's because I came above her. And one of the main things you'll learn when you have a chameleon is they cannot stand when you're trying to reach or do anything above them. And the reason why is because they're outside creatures. They're usually in forests and they're afraid of basically being preyed on. So whenever you are managing your chameleon, what you want to do is you want to be calm first off, because they are very easily stressed out. And you don't want to be just really quick with your movements when it comes to them, especially if you have a more aggressive chameleon. And it's very easy to tell if you have an aggressive chameleon or if your chameleon is stressed out. They give you plenty of warnings. They'll hiss at you first before they attack, and they'll hiss at you several times. So it doesn't mean keep agitating them or aggravating them. For me personally, like one thing I noticed is getting her out of her cage is just, it's way too much. It's hectic. So what I've learned is if I just leave the gate open, she'll crawl out onto the top ledge. And once she gets to the top ledge, I then get that stick that is in her hand still. I'll get that stick and I'll let her crawl onto it. And then eventually she crawls onto my hand on my arm. But for some reason today, she just didn't want to get off the stick completely. So I just let her hold it so that I can continue my video, because I was not about to just stay here and entertain that, Grenleigh. I was not about to do that with you. I wasn't going to do that with you, Grenleigh. So Grenleigh, I have had for about, I want to say 2 to 3 months now. She's definitely grown since I've gotten her. I don't know if she's at her full size currently. I couldn't really tell you if she is or not. I don't believe she is. She's still currently shedding. If you see at her tusk right there, if you're looking at her tusk, there's this little white strip. And on that white strip, it's actually her dried skin from her shedding. She was just recently shedding. And yesterday I just bathed her. She's a veiled chameleon. So these veiled chameleons, they have the horns on the head, and they're usually more aggressive. When she gets upset or stressed out, her spikes also come out. She has spikes on her whole, call it like her whole tailbone, like the whole, like she's getting upset right now because she thinks I'm trying to attack her because I'm coming from behind. So like the tailbone of her back, and then right under her chin, she also has spikes going on there. So with Grenleigh, She also has different types of colors. I can't speak for all veiled chameleons. I generally thought that they were only green, maybe brown and yellow spots, but just yesterday while I was bathing her, I finally saw her bright blues come out, and I was actually super excited about that. So like right now, if you can see her changing colors, you see that she's getting brown and she's getting yellows on her, and that usually means that she's getting nervous, and that she's getting a little overwhelmed or stressed out. But eventually she'll calm down. What I like to do if she feels that way is I'll just create some type of distance. Again, this is due to the fact that I was going ahead and I was trying to point her things out. And again, like if you see, she's looking at me. You see this hand, she's concerned about this hand. She knows this hand feeds her. We do most of the feeding with crickets. She doesn't really like to eat worms. When we got her, she was already older, so I assume that that is the reason why that she doesn't want to eat any of the worms. They had her on complete crickets, all crickets. I mean, I don't assume that at these pet stores there's, you know, just feeding them Dubai roaches the whole time or anything of that nature. They don't really care to that extent. I know that I don't want to say that these pet stores don't really care about their critters, but I can say that they're not feeding them the best quality food all day, every day, as it would be costly for them and expensive. And it's not that I don't understand it. It just makes it a little more difficult though for me on my end with Grenleigh, because I did want her to be on a more healthier diet. I didn't want her to just eat crickets. I really don't feel like those are filling for her, and I feel like she's always hungry. So honestly, we buy about 20 to 25 crickets, and I'm talking about the large ones, and she devours those in like a day. So there's that. I also try to put different things in her bowl with her crickets to kind of like it'll catch onto her tongue. So I'll put lettuce or salad or bananas, because they actually are able to eat fruits, but she doesn't like any of it. So I kind of have to just stick to the crickets. I do throw the lettuce in there still because it does catch onto her tongue, and oh well, she has no choice but to eat it, right? So as you can see, she's calming down. Her bright brown spots are going away, so she doesn't feel, you know, as upset or whatever the case may be. Okay, so when it comes to having a chameleon, a lot of people say that it's difficult, it's a lot of work and things of that nature, the upkeep. And I can generally say, like, I had no type of experience when it came to reptiles, and I found it rather easy. I mean, I didn't go out looking for all the items that she needed. I only looked for her, and felt like it wasn't fair that she was older, because where we got her, it was a pet bazaar in Castleberry, and she was like the oldest chameleon there, and just no one wanted her. And I was just like, that's not right. It's not fair that just because she's not a complete baby that no one wants her. I want her. I felt like we bonded, and so I got her. Well, I didn't get you. He got you for me. And then he got all the other things that I needed in order to upkeep her. One of the things about having a female chameleon, though, that you will learn is that they need to lay their eggs. Although they're not fertilized, they're not going to be fertilized unless they actually mate with somebody. I don't want to stress her out, but I want to go ahead and adjust my camera. I didn't realize how high it looked. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so, wow, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So what I was saying is that when it comes to having a female chameleon, a lot of the people don't really discuss the fact that they lay eggs, and they need to be able to lay their eggs. So when you're completing their bedding and their upkeep, that's one of the things you want to make sure you have. You want to make sure that you have soil in there, a deep soil, so that they're able to lay their eggs when that time comes. Because if they're not able to lay their eggs, then it stays inside their body, and usually it causes them to go bye-bye, because, I mean, they're eggs inside of her that need to be released. I mean, there's like literally nothing else to say on that. You just imagine. And of course, they don't just have one baby, so I completely understand, Grenleigh. I completely understand. I would never do that to you. So you want to make sure that you definitely, if you want to getting a female chameleon, that you're definitely taking care of them and their upkeep in regards to that. Next, I wanted to spoke about her feeding and her eating. Next, I spoke about her bedding. And, oh, how you get to this point. I can definitely let you know that a lot of I got to this point and how we got to this point is hand feeding. As long as you're very active with the hand feeding, and but many of them, I assume, understand, like, you're the person that feeds them eventually. They'll get that and they'll understand that, and that's part of their taming. Hand feeding them, it allows them to understand that the hand is not going to hurt them, so that they are not that aggressive. But sometimes you just need to realize that you're just going to have an aggressive chameleon, and it's just in their nature. And that's just due to the fact that they feel like they're being preyed on first. So they need to kind of build that trust, and I'm okay with that. I'm very patient with her, and she's patient with me usually. Like, once I get her out, we're good. Like, right now, we're good. Unless I was to come above her again, then we wouldn't be good. But I know that right now we're good. She's looking at me and she's not moving. We're just good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just really wanted to introduce you guys to Grenleigh, because we honestly are going to be doing more videos together as she continues her taming and training. And again, I don't know how old she is, but she is one of my favorite pets. Hey, what's going on? Where are you going? Feeling trapped? I think she's trying to readjust herself. She felt like she was falling, so. I just want to see if you guys can get a closer view of her without her getting super upset. Because again, when you are going ahead and managing your chameleon, you're going to want to move slowly. You don't want to move quickly with them, because they definitely do easily get stressed. But when they do get stressed, guys, you're able to tell, and you know when to back off, okay? Like Grenleigh here, if she gets super stressed, she completely turns black. Look at her. She is green. She's bright green, guys. So if she turns black, that is a clear sign. Leave her alone. Leave them alone, okay? I'm not sure if all chameleons completely turn black when they get upset, but they definitely give you warning colors. So for her, if she's really stressed, completely black. If she's upset, that's when her yellows and her browns, like you see now. If she's like super upset, though, they become spotty, okay? You'll see spots all over her body. And I'm actually going to insert a clip. She was in her cage, and I was originally trying to get her out. I'm no longer doing it that way. Again, I just open the gate and I just let her climb out on her own. I don't try to reach for her or have her come to me specifically. That's just how I build trust with her, so that she knows she's comfortable with me and it's her choice to come with me. When I get her onto my hand, like I said, like, she comes to me. So on that stick that she eventually did drop, she'll climb up the stick and onto my arm, which is where she ends up. So yeah, so, oh, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I want to get a closer look. There are blue dots on her head and stripe. Yep, you can see it right there. So there are blue specks on her, brown specks, yellow specks. Like, she's awesome sauce, guys. Awesome sauce. All right. So she's a little bit of stressed out now. As you can see, you see some brighter yellows and browns coming, and that's just because of my movement. Again, you guys got to be kind of slow with them, because they easily do get stressed. I know a lot of people say don't handhold them too much or a lot or things of that nature, and I want to say I'm like 50-50 on that. When you build comfortability with any animal, eventually they'll trust you enough to just come to your hand, you know what I mean, or come to you. I know that they're stressed animals, but I definitely believe it has a lot to do with trust. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share today. I'll give more information if I forgot anything, and I will go ahead and leave a link below to where I got her, because I know that they also sell other types of chameleons there, panther chameleons as well, which are the more calmer breeds. I know we are gonna get a panther eventually, but I'm okay with this aggressive little one, because I be aggressive too. I understand. I get it. I'm a female. We both females. I get it. Well, that's Vicky Pastiche, and I'm out.